New Pilgrim was 122 years old in December. My family started there when I was 3 years old.
I've been in New Pilgrim all my life, and I was born in 39.
New Pilgrim used to have this big choir. They were known all over the city. The people would know that New Pilgrim is going to be at this church, and you get there and it was crowded. If you didn't get to church until after Sunday school, there was no place for you to sit. Standing room only.
How did the congregation feel when you all learned that the building was going to be bought by UAB and that it was going to be demolished?
We felt sad because we had so many memories there of history and the movement and meeting there. But we had already moved down here. So we had mixed feelings.
Thought it was nice. They had been saying we needed to do that. And I think UAB approached us for it several times. And our past pastor, who had been there for 40 years, he said no.
Things you don't use, they fall down and decay. And that building was not being used. Now, I would be concerned about. In fact, I suggested to Paula that be one of the markers, that site, because we've been taught by Pastor Smith that progress, you gotta progress, you can't stay still.
Pastor Smith, who stayed there 40 years, he had this outgoing personality. We are really a warm church.
So that warmth that I've grown up with means a lot.
And Pastor Smith, he was an excellent preacher. And many of the pastors are saying that COVID stole their members. Because I got stuck on some churches, but I did want to get back to mine to meet with the people that I had not seen for such a long time. Tell you now, a very few of the people now, I see them, but I don't know them like I knew the people before COVID. Since they've torn it down, I think everybody should know what that piece of property was. It served the first daycare in Birmingham. And people would bring their children that live as far away as Woodlawn to the daycare at New Pilgrim. My mother was the Sunday school teachers for the little kids, the little kindergartners. Where the pavilion is, there's a big magnolia tree. Every year when the magnolias bloom, I make sure I get a couple of them to bring home. There's a marker there, and they put that marker there. That's Mother Barbara. She was the one who taught. I know it looked like close to 100 kids. And the only help she had were the older kids to deal with them. And she had better control of that crowd of kids than some parents now have with 2 or 3.
What was it like growing up here during the Civil Rights Movement?
I didn't have sense enough not to sit back. It was like you're a part of it. That's a part of your life. And we didn't have sense enough to be scared. I mean, it just came natural.
The civil rights meetings we called, and that's where my father got that plaque from, because they had men to come and stand so the church wouldn't get bombed. And my father was one of them who stood. I remember the men used to stand and watch, and they had their shotguns. That was a pretty bad time. It was bad for everybody. At that time, Martin Luther King was holding meetings there also. When he would come, there again, the church would just run over. Not even standing room. Fire department wouldn't let them in anymore.
Did most of the churches kind of group together, or was it mainly just like New Pilgrim 16?
No. Some of them were afraid of what would happen if they did participate in the movement. No, everybody didn't. We met that Sunday morning, and the lady that was teaching us the song "We Shall Overcome," we left that Sunday, and we were marching to Pilgrim Park. And when we got right at Pilgrim Park, under the viaduct, Bull Connor was down there with the fireman, and he said, "Stop. Don't go no further." But Reverend Charles Billups was leading the march. And he said, "Now, come on, we're going." And me with my young, fresh self was right on the front with Billups. And the hose didn't come on. I don't know if it was the water or what, but we walked right on through under the viaduct and past Bull Connor and got there, went under there, and then Billups, who was our leader, he said, "Let's pray." And we fell down and prayed right there. That was an Easter Sunday. And I think it's look like maybe when Dr. King went to jail. Because they were marching in terms of protesting him being in jail. And these three men had to march as local ministers. And that's when they used to see pictures of them beating the women, and it was awful. But they did the march. And I think they went to jail. Because Dr. King was already in jail. It'll follow us, our history.